Hello, and welcome to another broadcast of Comics Let's Talk. Karl Vincent, Vampire Hunter, my own creation. Now let me read my column. I picked the right time to pull out my Johnson. That's on the website Comics for Sinners, where I have a column and I review comic books. You can check that out online. Comics for Sinners. The column is called Given to Me. After we filmed the first scene, which is where Karl meets President Lyndon Johnson. Given to me. I picked the right time to pull out my Johnson. President Lyndon Johnson in 2016. There are two articles on that. Here's the one called President Lyndon Johnson in 2016, which is more informative. Question: what do actors Woody Harrelson, Bryan Cranston, and David Razor have in common? They're all playing President Lyndon Johnson in 2017. Now, what does that have to do with comic books? David Razor is playing LBJ as a vampire in the movie adaptation of Karl Vincent, Vampire Hunter, numbers 1 through 6, which in itself is an adaptation of the novel Last Rites, The Return of Sebastian Bacillus. Jeffrey Crisp is the producer as well as the director of the movie from Crisp Filmworks, that's in Lakeland, Florida. When I discovered there were 2 more films coming out this year that featured LBJ as a character, I was ecstatic. We are bound to get mentioned in most media blogs as the actors will be compared to each other and the real president. The idea to use a dead president came to me after I saw Don Coscarelli's low-budget offering Bubba Hotep, which featured Bruce Campbell as Elvis Presley and an Elvis Presley impersonator. Also, Ossie Davis is a mental patient that thinks he's JFK. But there's more to the reason why I'm excited about this development. You'll see the original President Vampire was going to be Ronald Reagan in my original manuscript. But Reagan wasn't working in the story. I had to change presidents. So after researching all the recently, well, within the last 50 years, deceased commanders-in-chief, I finally decided on LBJ. You see, this is just one of many developments that tells me that everything is falling together in just the right way. It's no accident that production has begun now. It's karma, fate, the muses have spoken, and it is God's will. For those who don't know, Woody Harrelson is playing LBJ in Rob Reiner's biopic. Once again, you can find the origin story of how I turned LBJ into a vampire in Files of Karl Vincent #1. It's available on Indie Planet as well as Drive-Thru Comics. You can get a digital copy for free on Indie Planet. So check it out. You might like it. After Karl and Sebastian recruit Lyndon Johnson, they're off to the Catskills in New York, where Kunoichi, which is a female ninja, for those who don't know, named Kate Bryant, is confronting the man that killed her father before her very eyes some 20 years earlier. Yoshi Isamu is the leader of a Yakuza drug cartel, and they're meeting in a field with Italian mafia members in a drug deal. Kate has tracked them to this field, to this drug deal on this very night. And she's there to confront Yoshi about having killed her father so many years ago. Yoshi accuses Gabriel Bryant, which is Kate's father, of killing his brother, which is why he killed Gabriel Bryant right in front of Kate when she was only 8 years old. First, she has to take out a group of Yakuza. The Mafia have already left. They've got their money for the drug deal. They've gone. The Yakuza are packing up and getting ready to go when Kate jumps out of the trees, takes on the Yakuza gang all by herself. Good action piece for the movie, by the way. Kate will be played in the movie by Jackie Pitts, the young actress, who's now residing in Georgia. Yoshi is being played by Max Ortiz. Now, Max isn't Japanese, but he is a part Filipino, and he was the closest actor we could find that matched what we needed for the character of Yoshi. Karl, Lyndon, and the ghost of Sebastian Bacillus are hiding behind a warehouse as they observe this battle between Kate and Yoshi. Now, I know it's a kind of a spoiler, but obviously if Kate's going along on the mission, she wins this fight and joins up with Karl. Now, what's funny here is that no one can see Sebastian except for Karl and our immortals. We'll talk about the immortals in a minute. Anyway, after they recruit Kate Bryant, they're off to the Brighton branch of the Boston Public Library, where they will recruit Athena Timon, who is a 2,000-year-old immortal. Thing is, Athena is trapped in the body of a 12-year-old girl due to an ancient curse. So she is a librarian, whom everyone thinks is too young to be working. And this brings some humorous moments. Some of the influences there were Christina Ricci, who was in the Addams Family movies, also Kitty Pryde herself. Ellen Page was part of the influence. She's highly intelligent, but she's always treated like a kid and she hates it. Now, in order to break the curse, Athena has to kill the vampire Lilith herself. You see, the Witch of Endor put a curse on her after she killed the witch's sister when she was 12 years old. Around 2,000 years ago, she killed the witch's sister by accidentally poisoning her brew, and the witch put a curse on her that she would not age until she killed the Hebrew vampire Lilith. So Athena Timon is trapped in the body of a 12-year-old girl and has been for 2,000 years. What a life, huh? And then another member of the Magnificent Seven is a character who is kind of shell-shocked. He's been struck by lightning several times. He calls himself the Greek god Thor. You see, when he was in Greece, he was worshipped as Hercules. And we all know the legend of how Hercules died. And in the legend, Hercules is burned on a pyre. But in my reality, poison affects his mind, he's in constant pain, but he goes off into the Norwegian area. In the Norwegian lands, he's worshipped as Thor. He's discovered by the Asgardians. He's given one of the apples of Idun, which for Asgardians makes them immortal. Of course, the Greek gods did not have to have that to be immortal. But when he takes the apple, it cures him of the poison that the centaur gave him. So now he's been struck by lightning throughout the centuries several times, and he's confused. He gets his upbringing in Greece mixed up, or his time in Norway as being worshipped as Thor, and now he's confused. He doesn't know what is going on. And now I'd like to discuss the character of Stacey Hamilton. Stacey will be played in our movie by The Walking Dead's own Anja Axton. Anja plays Farron on The Walking Dead, and she's playing Stacey Hamilton in our movie. Now, Stacey is the dental assistant in Karl's office building. I came up with the name because I worked in the name of every actor who's ever played Dracula up until the point of that writing in the original novel. And George Hamilton played Dracula in the parody Love at First Bite. So Stacey's full name is Stacey Georgette Hamilton. She used to make fun of Karl because he has a sign that says paranormal investigator on his door. He can't call himself a vampire hunter in the good old US of A. But one night, as Stacey's walking home, she is attacked by the vampire Absi. She manages to escape after Udo interferes in an attempt to bring Absi to a meeting of the vampire clans. She runs to Karl's office, and all of a sudden, she believes in vampires. No matter what she had thought before, she now knows vampires exist. The vampire Udo comes to Karl's office, and Karl must protect her from Udo. And after this incident is over, Stacey sees 2 airplane tickets to Cairo, Egypt on Karl's nightstand. She develops a little crush on Karl and decides that she wants to find out what this is all about, and takes her vacation and flies to Cairo on the same flight that Karl's on. I'm not going to spoil what happens here. Pick up the comic books or the novel on Indie Planet or Drive Through Comics. Pick up the novel on Amazon, and it'll tell you the whole story. Another character in the movie is Athanasius Timon, who is known as Nathan in this century. He's the immortal time traveler and father of Athena Timon. So that is the Magnificent Seven in my Karl Vincent Vampire Hunter universe. It's being shot now by Chris Filmworks, as we discussed. I just wanted to introduce you to those characters. Once again, you can find Karl Vincent novels on Amazon, comic books on Indie Planet, and Drive Through Comics. The novels right now include Last Rites, The Return of Sebastian Basilis, which we've discussed on this broadcast, and Foul Blood, which is a prequel to Last Rites and is the origin story of Karl Vincent and how he came to become a vampire hunter. We'll discuss that on a later broadcast. Once again, check them out. You can look inside the books. Amazon, Drive Through Comics, and Indie Planet all allow you to look inside the books. So check them out. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and I'll keep you up to date on what's happening with the comic books. We're adapting Foul Blood right now, as well as Dracula Rising, which is a sequel to Last Rites. So check it all out. Let me know what you think. Next time, we're going to look at the enduring appeal of Kurt Russell in the world of comic books. That's our next broadcast on Comics. Let's talk Kurt Russell. Thanks for joining me. Have a good day.